Ayo, what's up guys, it's me Degree What If for back in a video, and this is What If Deku had Bond's powers. And just a little, advise and everything, it is gonna get a little bit of 18 plus, probably in the future or in this video. I'm not really much sure. I'll probably have to, think about it while making this. And yeah, my first ever series on making this What If, and I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I do. Remember, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Like if you like it, dislike it, if you're new to the channel. Welcome. Enough of me ranting around. Let's get right into this banger. Alright, so we have to start this off with Izuku growing up. Now, Izuku's not gonna have a father, alright? He went to go and get the milk or cigarettes or whatever he desires. Probably women. Anyways, so Izuku's growing up with, Inko, a solo mother and all. And Inko was a very gifted person. She was able to make, sweets, bakeries and all that, very cuisine food at her age, She was a master chef, a very professional one at that, and she would, work at a couple of restaurants that she partially owns. Also, in this one, she's not gonna be like dirty ass rich. It's gonna be like basic, average. She doesn't want all that money and everything. She doesn't want to spoil Izuku. No, no, no. She wants to live an average life. She's saving all that money for probably college or her Izuku's dream or whatever. As Izuku is slowly growing up, he wants. He always sees his mother cooking, and would love every type of food that she will serve to Izuku. And Izuku wanted to know how to cook. For a very young age, he would be very curious on cooking. So at a certain age, around 3, still hanging out with Bakugo and everything, playing around what's called in a playground like normal, hanging out in the hood. Anyways, as Izuku would ask his mother if she could teach him how to cook, maybe basics at first. And she was thinking about it for a second and says, I guess you are around a certain age of, you can handle, cooking. But I really don't want you to hurt yourself. As she went on and just pats Izuku's head, and Izuku just says, no fair. Please, let me cook. I saw you do it many times. And she would just look at him and just look into his eyes and says, Izuku, look, I don't want you to get hurt, alright? And the kitchen is very dangerous. You might cut yourself, or even worse, burn yourself. I have done that many times, alright? And Izuku says, I don't care, alright? I want to learn how to cook, and you can't stop me. And she just says, oh bother, you'll probably cause a whole kitchen fire. Fine, I'll teach you at least a few basics, but that will be it. Not until you're older, alright, Izuku? And, Izuku says, yes, finally! And for a first off, ways of, so-called cooking, he was able to make burnt ass cookies, a burnt ass chocolate cake, and yeah. He wasn't very much skilled at first, but over the coursing weeks and, coursing months during this time, he'll actually get better and better on cooking. His mother would actually let him use a knife for once, and Izuku was watching, televisions on how people cook and how they handle a knife very good, and he proceeds to imitate the TV and practice on his cutting skills. He was able to cut many things into small little bits and pieces, and was able to saute or any fancy words on cooking. I'm not really much an expert in my case. As Inko would just see the improvements on Izuku's whole cooking. Izuku was able to, at this point, is just a master or a junior master or just a let's say acquaintance. No. I know the word for it. Fuck, I had it in my head. a prodigy or something like that. Izuku was very much a prodigy at this point, and he became a junior master chef. All right, and while Izuku now turns 4, he was able to look forward on what his quirk is gonna be. He'll probably have a similar quirk to his mother, or he doesn't even know. But he's gonna be very much excited on being having his own quirk. As the later that night, he would dream about being in a kitchen, a big kitchen. The whole thing would be just clean and spotless. Izuku would just running towards every aisle, cooking, prepping, and everything. Even in his own dream, he would be cooking. That's how addicted of cooking he really is in. He doesn't really like much about fighting and all, and he prefers cooking, since it will bring a smile towards a person. Like All Might would, fight with a big smile. He would cook with a big smile. He wants all the people around him to feel joy and happiness on what he cooks. Basically, he's aiming on becoming a world-class chef. Just, maybe even bigger and more, known than his own mother. He wants to surpass her. He wants his own mother to feel proud of him. And that's what his dream really wants to be. He really wants to be a cook, a chef. And at the age of 4, Zuko, he'll continue on his life. He'll go to class and notice that all the kids are just gathering around, his friend, Kachan. As Kachan is just showing off his quirk with explosions splasting out, and Zuko would just look at awe and say how cool his quirk is. Everyone would just say, yeah, he's, his quirk is actually pretty cool. Everyone would, have Izuku, Bakugo would have this big ass respect in his, the whole classroom. Everyone, they will just look at him and say, yeah, he will actually make a great ass hero. And Bakugo will look at Izuku saying, alright, nerd, what's your quirk? And Izuku just says, I haven't unlocked my quirk yet. And Bakugo would just respond saying, oh, it doesn't matter anyways. I bet my quirk would be more powerful than yours. And, Zuko would just raise his hands, both of his hands up, and saying, alright. It'll probably be, I guess, not as powerful as yours, but hey, it'll be at least a quirk. And Bako says, yeah, whatever. Are you gonna be a hero as well as Zuko? And Izuku responds saying, maybe. I'm planning on becoming a chef first. And Bakugo would just say, huh? Chef? Why the hell you want to be a chef? Do you want to be an awesome hero like All Might? Bad guys and all that. And Izuku thinks about it for a second saying, yeah, that could be cool and all, but still. I mean, it's just fighting and all, and just relentless violence and all. And sure, it might bring a few smiles towards other people, for peace and all, but he would like to bring smiles to other people with his cooking. And he has gotten really good with cooking so far, and he knows that if he stays on this track, he'll be actually a great professional chef. And, Baku would just say, I don't care. Damn nerd. As Izuku could just look at Bakugo and notice that he's very irritated for some reason. Maybe he doesn't like me having that kind of dream? Whatever. It's his dream. He'll become the greatest chef there's ever been. As Izuku would just head out in the playground, but this time he'll just sit down on a bench, just read what's called a cooking book, learning different types of recipes and all, and sees that Bakugo is just showing off with his quirk. Izuku would just say, I mean, having a good quirk and becoming a hero is good and all, and most of these kids really want to become heroes, but I really want to be a chef. I mean, what's wrong with that dream? And he just images all the good food that he could just make. and bring smiles to people, bring happiness and joy in their hearts. And he would just smile at the thought of it. As then he can hear a small cry. Izuku would just perk up a little and just look towards the direction of where this, well, crying or noise is coming from. As he would then close his book and bring him with him, walking towards the direction of this noise. He then turns the corner and sees Bakugo with two other goons are just seemingly bullying this kid. And he noticed that he was bleeding as well. Izuku just couldn't stand this. So he went in front of the kid, using his body to block the kid behind him, and also Bakugo and his two little goons right in front of him. As Izuku responds saying, "Kachan, what are you doing? Didn't you want to become a hero?" And Kachan responds saying, "Move out the way, Deku. I need to show this brat that he's not better than me." And Izuku would just say, "Everyone knows that you're better than everyone, alright? But you didn't have to go this far. I mean, look, he's bleeding. Can you tell that he's crying? Heroes don't act like this, do they?" And Bakugo would just say, "Shut up, Deku. You're not aiming to become a hero. I am. So if you want to step out of my way, just get out of my way, Deku, before you get hurt. Really hurt." And he would just close his fist on his hand and everything, this whole explosion and all, just with a big smile. And his two little goons started to, crowd around Izuku. As Bakugo orders his goons and all of them to attack Izuku, since he's not moving at all. And as Izuku's being barraged with all these attacks and everything, his cookbook falls out, and Bakugo just looks and sees that book. As he slowly walks towards the book and grabs it, and Izuku just try to get up and say, "My book, give that back." And Bakugo would just look at Izuku saying, "Huh? This useless book? I knew you were such a... Anyways, I'll be taking this book, alright?" "No! Give that back!" And as he's trying to get up, he's bleeding a little bit. And he would just look at Bakugo and notice that he's just, not himself anymore. He's so uptight now, and he doesn't know why. He was such a normal kid back, but now that he has his quirk, he's more arrogant and more, hasn't, let's call it whole, status of him has gotten worse and worse. And as Izuku starts to run towards Bakugo and try to grab his book, Bakugo would just raise it up high, not letting Izuku grab it, and his two little goons grab Izuku. As both of them just grab Izuku's arms, pinning him down, and Izuku couldn't move at all. As Bakugo was just standing over Izuku, holding on to his, cookbook, but Izuku would just yell at Bakugo saying, "Give it back! Give it back, Kachan!" And Kachan would have this big ass smirk and just look at him and saying, "Oh, you want this book, huh? You want it so bad? Then take it." As he then explodes the book in his hands, making it just charred. All black and charred. As it just lets go of it and falls towards the ground. As Izuku would just rage up just a little bit and just move two of the little lackeys or his little goons away from him and just charge right at Bakugo in full anger. As Bakugo would just put his hand towards Izuku's face in slow motion, hits him full front with an explosion. Boom! And Bakugo realized what he just did. He he didn't really much, well, since it's the first day and all about how he, well, got his quirk, he isn't able to control it very well. And he accidentally, well, blown off Izuku's face clean off. And as blood is gushing right out of Izuku's neck, everyone is just screaming and just crying. As Bakugo would just look at Izuku's headless body and just says, Deku? Are you alright? As two of his little goons just look at Bakugo saying, what do you do? You killed him! You killed him! What? And Bakugo says, I didn't mean to. He charged at me. As Bakugo would notice that Zuko's head is fully regenerating. And as Izuku slowly gets up, steam is still flooding out of Izuku, well, part of his head, and it fully regenerates. His hair comes back to normal. And Izuku would just look at Bakugo with anger. Bakugo didn't know what to do. He just says, Deku, are you alright? And Deku would just full on punch Bakugo right in the face. And Bakugo would just send flying. The amount of strength that now Izuku wields is amazing. Two of his little goons fall to the ground, and Izuku didn't know why. As then he just looks at him and says, did I get a little muscular? What is this? As Bakugo slowly tries to get up but falls down again, saying, what the hell? Why did all my strength go? What's going on? As Izuku slowly walks towards Bakugo's direction, and Bakugo is just looking at Izuku straight in the eyes, and Izuku responds saying, since you burned and charred my book, I guess it's only fair if I broke a bone or two. You know, that was a limited edition. You know how hard I had to wait and, well, how hard I had to work on cleaning dishes every single day, working my butt off to earn that book, and just to be wasted like this? Just to be wasted like this? Nah, you're definitely getting a broken bone or two. Definitely. And Bakugo was so afraid that he just passed out right there and then. Seeing Izuku's aura, just a purplish aura coming out of him, and his eyes going bright red. And Izuku with a big smirk, saying, yeah, I want to hear you scream, alright? I'm not gonna just break your bones while you're just unconscious. No. I want to hear you scream. As, well, that whole situation happens, and now we're gonna start with Izuku, the whole My Hero series, actually, as Izuku starts to grow up, you can just imagine what happened to Bakugo as he finally wakes up. Izuku actually breaks both of his bones. Bakugo would just scream out in pain and say, please stop. And he just cries like a bitch. That's all I have to say. Now, as Izuku is growing up more and more, Inko would actually teach Izuku more techniques on how he could cook better. He can actually make now apple pie, different types of pies actually, and just gourmet food that's literally 5-star meals. No, fuck that shit. 10-star meals. And Izuku is on fire. His technique on cooking has progressed dramatically. Every time that he goes to high school, bringing his own bento, everyone is crowding around with Izuku, and, just notices his bento and sees just how delicious the food is, and you just see Bakugo with just plain rice and just a little bit of a cherry tomato. So bad. Anyways, and yeah, actually, Izuku did go to the quirk doctor and all. He did get his quirk evaluated, and his quirk name is called Immortality. His head literally got blown off, so yeah, it's only fair that he gets a quirk name Immortality. Inko was very concerned on why his son got called from his own son, saying that his head got blown off, but not not to worry, his head grew back, and that was very much a red flag during that time. Inko was very worried. She just ran there, saying, "Are you alright?" Caressing her own son, and Zuko would say, "Yeah, I'm fine," as his body would deflate and go back to normal. Now, enough of me. Let's actually cut back to reality. As Izuku, by this time, he's around the age of, let's say, 17. Yeah, we're cutting that far. So Izuku, he's actually the most popular kid there. Alright? Izuku would get so many letters from other girls in his own classroom, asking him to, actually asking him out. Izuku would have this macho appearance. Literally, he has been working out over the years and, eating a lot of his own food. He got a little bit fat, so he decided to work out. And that what he did. He isn't worried about losing an arm or a leg since he can literally regenerate, or if he breaks an arm or a leg, again, generate. So he's not very much worried about it. He did learn that he has a couple other skills than just his regeneration, such as Hunter's Vest, that he later found out that, he took the strength of other people around him without very much knowing. He also has another ability that's called Snatch. He can literally take anything from a distance, which is very much helpful. So, he could grab his, let's say, spatula from across the room, snatch, use that, continue on doing that, cooking. He uses it very much every single day, every time he, cooks or something. And his life has been pretty much awesome, literally. He hasn't, he's not really much worried about getting hurt or anything. He's normal. Well, in his eyes, he's normal. He doesn't really have to worry about being with the cold or all that. No. He's not even worried about that, since his regeneration also helps with his immune system. It has strengthened a bunch, so he's not really much worried about getting a cold or a fever or yada yada yada. And yeah, literally, at the age of 17, Izuku will, go back home normal, exhausted a little, and his mom would just wait for him at home. As he just sees his mom saying, Izuku, come here for a second. As Izuku would just, walk towards his mother saying, yeah, what is it? As she would just grab a letter from Mr. Shield, from Mr. David Shield from Island. And Izuku just, raises an eyebrow and says, alright, why are you even showing me this? And she responds saying, well, I got an invitation to Mr. David's party. And Izuku responds saying, okay, and this is good because... And she responds saying, don't you not know who David is? No, David Shield, the one that creates all the support, was called basically almost all of the support gear that you can imagine from other heroes, And Izuku thinks about it for a second, saying, oh, I don't really care, so is that it, really? Is it just a party? And she responds saying, not really much a party, but I was invited there to cook for them. They recently lost their chef, so they decided to, give me an invitation if I could, cook them something. And there is going to be a party there, so I have a lot of work to do. And Zuko responds saying, oh, okay, I'm happy for you at least. But, Inko then goes on and says she can't really work. Izuku was taken back by this and saying, "What do you mean you can't work?" She then goes on and says that, well, she got a little bit sick lately and her back isn't as, well, her usual, she's not much of her usual self from back then. And, she would just look at Izuku, peering into his eyes, and Izuku could just see the sparkle in her eyes. And with sincere thought, Inko says, "Could you, cook? Go to the party and just cook for the whole thing, please? My old body's just downing me a little." And Izuku says, "Alright, I guess. When is this party?" And she responds saying, "Well, it's gonna be in a week. No, in 2 weeks so far, so... But you have to get there a week early." And Izuku responds saying, "Okay, why? I mean, I do have like 2 weeks, so why do I need to get there a week early?" She responds saying, "Well, you might need to learn, know the kitchen better. And also, I guess there's going to be a few things that you need to do before to prepare for the actual dinner. Or for the whole party. I mean, a lot of people are going to be there, and only a few chefs are going to, cook there, and you're going to be one of them. So, I know for a fact that it's going to be overwhelming for you. So, just try your best." And Izuku thinks about it for a second, saying, "Yeah, I guess I've never been on a kitchen with other people. I mostly do it by myself, and knowing the kitchen better will be useful. I guess I can, think of a few meals I can make and during the week. And I guess I could just hang out with Katsuki." Oh, wait. And Izuku just looks at her and saying, "Are you gonna come as well?" And Inko responds saying, "Nah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna set this one out. Why don't you not bring a few guests with you?" And Izuku thinks about it for a second, saying, "Bring a guest? I mean, I can bring Bakugo with me, but I have to keep a leash on him. That Pomeranian dog is gonna cause so much trouble if I bring him, but I really don't have anyone else, and I'll bring Kachan with me." And Inko, she was very much happy and says, "Alright then. I guess you have a week before the whole thing starts. Well, before you leave. So, make your... just think about what you're gonna do, alright? Oh, and also tell Katsuki if you're gonna, take him with you." Izuku says, "Alright, I guess I might as well tell him in advance." As he goes in his room, gets his phone and calls up Katsuki. Katsuki's just ranting on with his mother, saying how old she is and how much she needs to relax a little, sit down, take her medicine and shit. Stop being an old hag overall. And as he hears a little ring on his phone, he then grabs it and picks it up, saying, "Who the hell is it?" And, Deku responds saying, "It's me, Pomeranian dog here. Is this the Pomeranian dog residence?" And Bakugo just saying, "Deku, you better shut the fuck up before I explode your head again." And Izuku responds saying, "Do you want to lose your head?" Bakugo responds saying nothing and says, "What do you want?" Izuku responds saying, "Well, I have an invitation to another place called Island, and it'll be very much lonely there without you. I need your ranting. It's gonna get boring over there, so I might as well bring you with me. And yeah, do you want to come with me?" And Bakugo thinks about it for a second and just hears his mom saying, "Katsuki!" And Bakugo just responds saying, "Yeah, Mom?" And she responds saying, "You want to come over to my parents' house? Your grandparents?" Your grandma and grandpa, you want to visit them? We're gonna stay there over a couple of weeks. And Baku would just go back to the phone and say, yeah, yeah, take me with you, please. I beg of you, please take me with you. And Izuku can just hear, the whole thing over the phone and says, all right then, come over to my house in at least a week or so. Make sure you dress nicely, all right? No ragged ass shit. Make sure you look nice. Just whatever. As he just hangs up and, Bakugo just doesn't even care anymore. He just goes back, whatever he was doing. And a week passes. As Izuku, he's finally well dressed and everything, a tuxedo, looking stylish as a motherfucker. Alright? He did cut his hair over the years and just, dyed his hair silver. And yeah. He's a different type of Deku that we never seen before. He's more aggressive, passive aggressive, and he's more, let's say, more confident about himself, and more or less just the same as Bon. All right, he has the same looks, the same. Well, basically, he's Bon. That's all I had to put it there, and yeah. As Bakugo and Izuku would just head to a limo pulled up in Izuku's, driveway. And as he's coming out, full on stylish outside his house, as he sees Bakugo slowly coming up in his old mom's car, just, just a dump truck of a car, and just gets out saying, alright, where I guess, I'm looking fine. As Izuku just looks up and down on Bakugo and says, wow, I'm surprised you actually wore something nice. And Bakugo would just look at him saying, huh? Repeat that shit again. Damn it. Damn Deku. And, he would just, Izuku would just laugh at him. As both of them get on the limo, drive straight towards the airport on a plane, a private jet plane, and get to Island. As Izuku steps out of the plane, as he's just pulling his hair back, let the wind push him a little, as Bakugo steps out as well, looking stylish, with the same, tuxedo, mostly like a tuxedo with a little bow instead of a tie. He'll be looking stylish as well, not gonna lie, ripped as well. As then a girl greets both of them, saying, oh, sorry, sorry, wrong page. Hi, welcome to Island. Now, that's where I'm going to end it up, guys. I know it's probably very much shitty for, first part, but hey, I can't say much right now, so I hope you guys enjoy as much as I do. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, like if you like it, dislike it, and I'll see you all tomorrow, I guess. Bye.